Good morning. This is Rabbi Shlomo Yeshiva Tsama Nafshi. We're getting ready for Pesach. Purim is past, so now we're getting ready for Pesach. Shloshim Yom Lefnei HaChag. And we're learning the Mishna Berura, Taf Ayin Beis.
Page?
Page 158 in my edition. I'm not sure what's in your edition.
Simon?
Taf Ayin Beis.
You didn't ask you about Bakasot, but what Tetzayim?
Okay, now everyone knows you have to have 4 cups of wine, and you have to, when you're drinking the 4 cups, you have to do the drinking while you recline. Let's see about that.
This table should be set from the day before, when you do the day. So you can eat right away when it gets dark.
Dark, exactly.
Even if he's learning, Yakum, you should get up. There's a mitzvah to hurry and to eat because of the children. They should not fall asleep. But you should not say Kiddush until it gets dark. Okay. So you can eat right away. Lav dafka doesn't really mean
Meaning to eat immediately. Doesn't mean to eat immediately.
Right. To understand, what it means is that he should be ready so he can start the Seder as soon as it gets dark, and he should not be wasting time.
Okay, so that's why the Shulchan Aruch should be said, right? Well, it's still Erev Pesach during the daytime, because when you come home, right, from Davening Ma'ariv, everything should be replaced and ready. You have, you need pillows to reclining, you have to have your courses on the table, you need plates, you need the Seder plate, whatever, all the things, everything, the salt water, you need charosis. Some of these things, it's not so easy to make them halachically on Yom Tov. If you forget to make charosis, you have to use a shinui. We'll get to these types of things because it's like lisha, right? And making salt water on you use salt water when you have to dip the carcass in.
We use
Vinegar, so you don't have to worry about that, right? Some of us use salt water.
No, a lot of most part, we're different.
That's okay.
We're
different. The Mechaber says chaymes. I think the Mechaber says chaymes. You're okay.
With the parameters.
But if you use salt water, it's not so, especially if it comes out on Shabbos.
Right, Shabbos, bro. Because
then you have more Yom Tov, you can do these kind of things. It's more lenient. But as we'll see, this year I think it's coming out of Shabbos. Friday night. So Shabbos. So you have to really make sure you can make your charosis. But the reason that the Mechaber is giving us now is not because of the halachic reasons of what you can do or not do on Yom Tov or on Shabbos. It's not because we want to have everything ready, set to go as soon as you come home. When you come home, you change it. You also wear a kittel?
No.
That's what I say. You wear a kittel. You change it to a kittel.
I don't know about Seder, but in the kittel, the older rabbi used to look at what Jalab, which is equivalent to
Okay, let's continue. Let's see. So that's lav dafka. Not that you want to eat, but rather you want to start the
Seder.
Because you're not going to be able to eat or drink anything until you say the HaKodesh, and you can't have to make Kiddush and all that. So let's see.
Prevent HaMedrash, it means to say, She'osipim, that is learning. The Huadin, Lingan, Tfilah, Sarach, Lazaris, Asma, Likrot, Kriyat Shema, Lepav, Belelech, take it Leveto. And the same thing is with Tfilah, that he has to hurry himself and say Kriyat Shema, daven, and then hurry home. Right away. Don't waste time.
Right now, usually because of this fact, Ma'ariv will be a little bit earlier than usual.
But it's a Hallel. So it's
also is a longer Ma'ariv, and so what you kind of stuck in between here because you're starting the Ma'ariv earlier. So then it really, in theory, you should be saying Kriyat Shema later on because a little bit early. It might be pushing 18, 20, 25 minutes, which is a little bit early. For all the days, if you want to be Yotzi, all the days of you in Kriyat Shema Deraisa to be saying Kriyat Shema when it stays at Chachavim, which is really 40, 45 minutes. So if you're davening at 30 minutes or so after Shkiyah, so you're not getting all your days. So really what you should be doing is sometime later on in the night, say just the 3 paragraphs of Shema, not the
Repeat it.
brachas, right? Say the 3 paragraphs of Shema over again, right? So that's what you want, and then you have to say the Hallel also. Yeah.
Shemitzvah lemar v'loch, it was a mitzvah to hurry and to eat. V'rtzeh lomar, this means the zaris la'asot seder kadesh lo yishnatim, that you should do the seder so the kid should not go to sleep.
That's
Kesheyedu shelo yishtah harbe, you should know that you don't take a long time.
that means when the kids will get if the kids get the feeling that it's not going to take a long time, so they'll stay up. But they say, this guy's darshaning and he's going into Inyanim and he's like, they'll just go on and eat the table and you lost them, they're gone.
Until he comes to the meal. Mimela yishalu man ishtala. In any case, you should ask man ishtala v'yashiv laim v'kayim ma shekatu v'gata l'vich v'yamahu. And you should ask man ishtala. You should answer to do what is written that you should tell the children on that day. Also, you should tell the children the story of Pesach.
That's right. So see, because the real mitzvah is Hagadat Levinka B'Yomav. You should tell over the story of Pesach, the coming out of Pesach to the children. So you have no children, it's okay, so we'll see about that. You can say it over to someone else, say it over to your family, even if you're saying it for yourself. But it's not like you're saying it over to your own children, your own sons, and question daughters included in this as well. Some money posts can say daughters included in this as well. But if they're sleeping, so you lost the opportunity.
Right. V'lo yomar kiddush. We should not say kiddush. What's it, Lomar? The lo tema kima shemitzvah lemaher. They shouldn't. Tema means.
Don't suggest.
They said that because of mitzvah to hurry yatchal kiddush v'agada v'agada, she started kiddush in the agada while it's still daylight. Kemoshi matzina b'Shabbat v'Yom Tov sheyachol losid b'chol HaKodesh. That as we find in Shabbat and Yom Tov that you can add from Chol to Kodesh. Kadesh v'lechamai, to eat while it's still daytime. V'chanal v'siman reish samik zayin, says in reish samik zayin. Kamash malado gam Pesach enoken, but regarding Pesach it's not so.
So by Shabbos, right, since it's Kedushas Hayom, what we call the holiness, the sanctity of the day. So if you want to bring in the sanctity of the day earlier, you're permitted to do that. But when it comes to Pesach, there's something special and unique about the Kiddush. The Kiddush should be said when you have, right, matzah mora, right, with the nefa. And that is really only when it gets to be Tesvav, meaning the 15th of Nisan. And that's only when after the 3 stars come out. So you can't even make Kiddush before the 3 stars come out. And then, look, in general, if you go to a shul, even if they're going to start, say even 15 minutes, which is really early, they're going to start 15 minutes Ma'ariv after Shkia. And Ma'ariv is going to take an easy 20 minutes, let's say. So that means you're holding by 35 minutes at the end of Ma'ariv, and that's a fast Ma'ariv. That's 35 minutes after Shkia. And let's say it takes you 10 minutes to walk home. That means you're holding by 45 minutes easily.
Really?
So you're okay. Really, when you if you daven with the minyan and you're saying Hallel, you should be very well within the limit of the Tzeitzah Chachavim, right?
Because Pesach is not so. The Kishachilat Matzah Huksha Pesach, because the eating of matzah is tied to Pesach. Because it says in the pasuk, on matzahs and bitter herbs you should eat it. But Pesach eino nechal elav alayim. Pesach is only eaten at night. The kiddush sarich liot b'shar rod lematzah. The kiddush has to be, has to be at the time that it's good to eat the matzah.
It's the time that it's fit to eat the matzah. Meaning, if it's not the time for matzah, meaning let's say if a person would eat matzah, let's say 12 minutes, even 15 minutes after Shkia, very big suffix. It's a suffix yom, that's Spanish much, a suffix yom, suffix loila. It's a question whether or not he's yotzi. Just like I say, let's say a person would do a bris milah, right, the 8th day, Benish Shmoshes. It's a suffix where they had the bris milah, because it's a suffix, maybe it's the 7th day still, maybe it's the 8th day, right? So you don't want to get yourself into a suffix when it's a deraisa like that. So you want to wait until it's vadai, zman. So you want to wait, like I said, minimal, say 20, could be the most minimal is 18 minutes, maybe 25. for the rices, definitely you should try and wait at least 40, 45 minutes, right?
The same pressure as counting the over.
Similarly, very similarly, correct, right? Also breaking the fast of Yom Kippur. You don't want to break the fast too early, right? Because you don't want it, because it's still, maybe it's still Yom Kippur, maybe it's still Yom Kippur. Meaning 1 minute after Shkia, meaning Shkia is technically the end of the day, right? But since we don't know what Bein Hashmoshes is really, what is Bein Hashmoshes? What is twilight? Is twilight the beginning of the next day, or it's the end of the previous day? Or is it both, right? So, if you don't want to break your fast like 1 minute after sunset, because that's really cutting, if that was thin ice, you wouldn't want to walk on that thin ice. It's way too thin, right? Every minute that takes further and further on into Bein Hashmoshes, you're getting on more solid ice, until after you get to finally 45 minutes, it's really full solid ice. And here in Prague, it was the coldest it was in the last 10 years.
Was it snow then?
It's snow flurries. One day it was Shushan Purim, I think it was Shushan Purim, that it was snow flurries. It was Erev Shabbos, I think. Yeah, Shushan Purim, Erev Shabbos, yeah. So it was minus 9 degrees.
Oh,
Yeah, easy, yeah. And it felt even colder than that. So there was a pond, and they were playing ice hockey on the pond.
Is it a modern city, Prague?
It's parts of it. The old city's an old city, but there were parts of it that are modern. Sure. Okay.
The Koshel Kiddush, more. The Kiddush is one of the 4 cups. The Kuhu Batar Haggadah, it's all part of the Haggadah. Matzah Mar Gavir and Matzah Mar are
Cause are the cause, meaning the Haggadah. The Haggadah is the time when you say the Haggadah is when you have the matzah morur. Because you want to explain these things. That why we're eating matzah, why you're eating morur. That's part of the essential, basic information we want to transfer to the children, especially about why we're doing all these things. So that has to be at the time when the mitzvah of matzah is in effect, when the mitzvah of morur is in effect, and when we had a base of mikdash, when the mitzvah of Korban Pesach was in effect. And that doesn't occur until way after Shkia is finished, and you have Tzeisah Chachamim.
Achet Tashach, don't get dark. What's a lomar? It means after the stars come out. The lo ben hashmoshes, not ben hashmoshes.
Right, that's what he says clearly. You cannot be ben hashmoshes. Okay.
Yisada shechanu yafe b'kelim nam kifi kocha. You should set up the table with nice dishes according to his needs.
Okay, so this is back in the Shulchan Aruch.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. Sit base in the Shulchan Aruch up on top of the second line. Yisada Mishna should arrange Shulchan Yafa.
so we do the plastic plates.
Today you have plastic steaks, much nicer than dishes, and I hold it to sin to use dishes. I'm one of those. I don't think when I was married,
And what happens if your mother?
You never used to.
My mother knows it.
She left you the set of plates. You had ready. That's already 100
So
years
I
old.
would use one on the table to show. That's it.
This is the keta. It's the keta.
You know, it's not a yontif for a woman. She was washing 30, 40, 50 dishes. You know, it wasn't a yontif. So I don't know.
Not the time.
I'm a paper.
No.
First of all, the silverware and all the
A lot of people use chapami for
cleaving
A
stuff.
lot of people use chapami for that.
Well, okay. This is the question.
White tablecloth, lovely,
No,
all this silverware.
it should be as nice a table as you can set. Now, what Amram's mentioning, which is really a very big consideration, if the wife on Motzei Yom Tov is going to be there standing at the, because there's probably you don't have if you have a Pesach dishwasher, okay.
Yeah.
So-
It's Erev Shabbos altogether. It's a national event.
Okay, so but who has in this country who has a Pesach? There may be ways to kasher for Pesach also.
You get a new rack.
We're not getting
When
into
did it
that.
say you should glorify like the Shabbat, that they make it a delight? You
No, so you could
But
go
did it
out
say
and
that
get
on
a special
Pesach?
kandar out, running a special.
Did it say that on Pesach? You didn't say about
Pesach special?
since you have a beautiful table. all the-
Pesach,
No,
more important than
all the best child.
all the best.
All the time.
All the best.
Plastic work.
What's the Mishnah Berura saying about
You know,
I know you're right.
I used to be a youth director. We used to have 20, 30 people at a time, right? You need the Kiddush cup for first. Then you have the Kiddush cups. You have the wine cups. Then you have people need that second one because they make a mess. Then you have the dishes. Then you have to wash. Before we get to the dishes, you've already washed for 30, 40 people times 7 or 8 times, right? Then you have the meals. So now, but people are tired, you're not going to wash it, so everything's going to go put in the sink. The next morning, used to wake up, and the sink was like this. Take it, you have to have their ferrets, so you have to for her too. So I changed it, and I had to fight her. Actually, I had to fight her. She wanted dishes, but I said, no, I'm not having that.
So you get a bit of criticism when you get people out.
But you know, I'll tell you, I didn't.
Beautiful plastic bags, beautiful silver plastic ware, and that's
This
what
was
we
the
did.
next second plate that
You
comes
can
out
do it,
tomorrow.
you can do it, but again, you can do it. And look, if you really want, you can wash them also and save them too if you want. But you don't have to. It takes off the metach, the strain, the stress. You got to clean up these mess of dishes. I'll tell you one story happened to me. One Erev Pesach, we were running behind schedule, and so I only took out a minimal of the china. And one of my boys said, he was a little boy, maybe 8, 9 years, he says, where's all the plates? He was looking forward to little plates. Right? So look, sometimes I help out on Motzi Pesach. We just use the china for the Pesach night, Seder night. And then we use different stuff.
I mean, it's a symbolic, it's a story, it's a religious experience.
Yeah.
But it's not also about making a chicken soup with, what you know.
Matzo balls?
Yeah, I mean,
course it
with
is.
all the chicken and
It's
this and that.
it's traditional
I know, but
foods
where does it
also.
come into it? I know it comes into it, but it's so important.
No, you'd be surprised that how much those matzo balls. You'd be surprised how many people are still keeping mitzvahs because of those matzo balls.
I'm still dreaming the matzo balls I used to make when I was 18 in Yeshiva. 2 matzo balls all the time, and 2 matzo balls like that, and meatballs, and the Spanish chef he says, Mr. So-and-so, I don't know what his name was, a great guy. He says, he goes home to sleep every night. He goes, money. He says, I go to sleep, matzo balls. So yeah, it's a big tradition, trust me.
You know, the filter fish and the egg. Well, see,
Yeah,
all these things. It's very important because there's no other time like Pesach. The whole it's so filled with the wine and with everything. It puts such a impression into the child, especially when they're young. That this is where you can grab them. This is when the emunah in the HaKodesh Baruch Hu, the connection we have with HaKodesh Baruch Hu, that He loves us so much. He took us out of Mitzrayim. He did such special things for us. This is a time to. You can't imagine how many Jews remain Jewish through. I can't even imagine how many Jews went off Kiddush Hashem on Hashem Merachim because that they realized that they were still Jewish based on just the one night of. Why are we doing all this? Why are we waiting? That's no point. Usually we're
hungry.
Yeah, they usually make Kiddush, and from Kiddush you wash for Motzi, right? Yeah. So the first thing is you make Kiddush, and then all of a sudden you take the Seder plate away, right? And you start talking about karpas, and we wash without a bracha. All these things are what the child is supposed to think. What's going on here? It's a strange thing. You're right, it's strange. Why is it strange? Because we have to talk about what Hashem did. We cannot eat until we explain that Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim. We have to explain all this to you, and the children feel. Very
included, but
the whole point is to include the children.
That's the whole mitzvah. That's the whole. That's the whole shit.
Get it over to them. Want to get it over to them? Yeah.
Okay, the Yachid Mekom Moshav should arrange the place where he's going to sit. So Yeshiv Basi Baderech here, that he should sit leaning like a free person.
Right. So again, now we'll see about a saber. We're not used to a saber, though. In the time of a saber, that's what we were reading about last week with Esther. What was this point that Haman's jumping and falling all over her because she was spread out on a bed? That's how they used to eat, right?
Sit down.
Yeah, we sit down, and then you just lean over. Is that how you do it also, or?
Why is it so very important that if you don't say the bracha or you don't drink the cups through the various periods of the meal, you've got to do it again, or
right.
So
if you drink without a seiba, right, you have to go back and do it again. And so the reason why, because a seiba is what we call derech cheres. That's the way a free person, a free man. No, because we must show ourselves to be free people, right? We must. The whole night of Pesach is revolving around two different themes. One is Avdus, slavery, and one is freedom. And they're revolving and they're intermixing between the whole thing. Everything we say and everything we do is revolving around the intermixture of these two different things. The 4 cups are freedom. The matzah is slavery, right? The karpas, right, and the parosis are slavery, right? You have the egg, right, which is also has something to do with the slavery. You have these all different things, and then
Egg, I thought it was a
Egg is
Right. That's we'll see about that. So yeah.
ואפילו אני שאין לו prior, and even that person does not pillows, yeshiv ala safsar, he should sit on a stool.
How could he?
It's hard. You're gonna, that's you're doing something different. In other words, first, if you're a poor person, you have to go do something that's puts you in a level above, so you know that you're in freedom. The Kalim night with the nice, the bottom, Mr. Berura.
We'll pick this up tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll do the Mishnah tomorrow. We'll do base again and do the Mishnah tomorrow.
Thank you.
It's going to explain all this.
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
Thank you.
It's gonna be